Going on? What's popping? So we are back. Listen, it's a little different. We moving different. Usually we have qualifying. We not having qualifying kickback. We having free practice kickback. And with that being said, the same damn thing applies. We gonna have free practice slash kickback quality trivia. Last week, Freak Dogs Flair won it on top of getting his VIP box. We're also going to go into some updates for the Miami GP, just briefly some updates, talk about some teams, also look at some photos of some different things that are going on. And we will intermittently have timing board up so we can keep an eye on that track. Also, kind of nice to see Mercedes and free practice. But remember, that is practice, all right? Practice. We can't take too much out of practice, right? At least I don't think we could take too much out of practice. I think we got to be really realistic about it. It's time to see what happens as they go into free practice 2. We're on standard protocol this weekend. So FP1, FP2. Tomorrow will be FP3 and then quali. If I can be here live for quali, then I will. But tomorrow, it is also the family's race day at the track. So the little one has a race day. I got up at 2 o'clock this morning working on her cart so I could get some things together, watch free practice, and be here with you now. And then I will shortly after that go back out there, get the engine started, and then get the things loaded up so we could take off in the morning. So the good thing is that Miami is set to be pretty much East Coast time, which means I might have some time to get here. Now, we're going to take a look at some things. So I think this is kind of important. We're going to take a look at what's going on, Mary Beanie. What's up, y'all? I see you all up in the chat. 64% of you all said Vegas is probably going to be the better GP. Okay, all right. Well, that's fine. We can go into that. But let's go ahead and go into the power unit RNCs. Last week, we didn't cover RNCs. This week, we're going to cover a little bit of that, all right? Also, I got the new VIP box up here for the next person. We do have a new VIP member that will be presented on Sunday at Finale Lap. I got their name right here. They will be presented Sunday at Finale Lap. So congratulations to them ahead of time and congratulations to them when we get there. So we're going to take a look at the PUEs and the RNCs. Like I said, last week we talked about the PUEs, but we didn't go into the RNCs as far as the allocations met. We're going to go into that as well as we still got a little time before they actually get out there and then free practice start happening. Plus, free practice, we can have a little bit more time to kind of play around right here. We don't have to be so strict as we are, even though we're not really strict, but we don't have to be as strict as we typically are when it comes down to the actual qualifying. We could be a little less strict right now. So with that being the case, we're going to kind of dance around a little bit and talk about some things that are actually going on. And I want to show you the comparison. I want to show you the difference from Australia to Miami when it comes to these power unit allocations and how these teams are about to start running into some major issues. These teams are about to start running into some major issues, and we talked about this as much. So this is a situation that is about to take place. And right now I'm going to go ahead and set us up real quick for our, we're going to go ahead and run Speed Trap as well. So I'm going to get us set up for that. We only care about maybe the first 4 drivers. We got a star-studded cast too out there in Miami. Miami, I asked you all about Miami being the biggest and you all say Vegas. It's going to be interesting to see the amount of stars that actually come to Vegas more so than Miami. Miami right now is big. That's no lie. Like Miami is loaded right now. They are absolutely loaded with what they have going on as far as events, what they have going on as far as the stars showing up to the paddock. Miami's not playing any games right now. They're really trying to be about their whole grind as far as like being that USGP. I find it really funny that we're hearing this kind of talk of Haas being their home GP. Listen, Haas don't have a home GP, all right? I'm just going to tell you like it is. Haas does not have a home GP. This is not their home GP. If anything, of course, it's Logan Sargent's home GP, but it's definitely not Haas's home GP. Like, I'm not playing that game with them. Like, Haas has done nothing to facilitate having a home GP because they barely do what they're supposed to do as a team anyway. So, yeah, I'm not even rocking with that whole little narrative that they're trying to spit right now. It doesn't work for me. It shouldn't work for you. So it's not going to work for us. So we're going to let them have that. By the way, happy Cinco de Mayo to you all. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm going to show you, we got the boards up, we got everything going. So intermittently, we will go back and forth between that just to show you a little data and information that's going on right there. So we will be doing that. So just stay tuned. Right now, let's go ahead and go into what I told you as far as power unit allocations. Max Verstappen did have an issue with his Hans device. Hopefully he got that worked out. Why? Because that is a safety feature, and you never want a driver's safety feature to be compromised. So I'm hoping that that got worked out with him in Red Bull, and I hope they figured out what was going on. It shouldn't have been a big fix, right? It should be easy, but you don't want a malfunctioning safety device. That's not what you want in a race, right? You want your driver's safety devices to be working more smoothly and more efficiently than the car itself, because if anything goes wrong, that's what you're relying on. So check this out. We're going to go over here. Now look at this. This was Australia. And I'm telling you, just stay tuned. When they start getting out on track, nobody's out there right now. We'll hit it and then we'll leave. So this is what we got right here. This was Australia. Now just look at that. This is the Miami GP right now up until this point. Look at that. The board is looks like Lewis Hamilton's helmet right now. Okay. We have already, now I'm going to give you these allocations. Okay. So in the RCs, you could pretty much guarantee like 4. I think 4 is the max dependent. I think it's like 23 races, 4, 24 races, 5, somewhere in there. But I think we're at 4. So if you look right there, Sergio Perez already in EC and CE, he's already over. Like, he's possibly going to be taking more grid penalties if things don't start shaping up real well for him. Max is still in the green up until this point. Exhaust, they got up until 8, so that's really not a big deal. We come down to Charles Leclerc, and he's already knocking on the door, but he's over on control electronics. So he's possibly going to be looking at taking grid penalties. And if he doesn't take just grid penalties in that area, he's still right there at the door getting ready to knock on it for ICE, TC, and MGUH. Okay, so we already know, and this is not anything that we should be surprised in. Ferrari is not, or has proven not to be, the most reliable team on the grid. Let's just keep it honest and keep it real. They've had reliability issues. Earlier we had a situation, also I want to hit it to Aston Martin, and I think it was, I forget, it was Aston Martin, somebody almost had unsafe release and almost ran into each other. It might have been AlphaTauri. But anyway, they haven't been the best with that, okay? So we might be looking at Ferrari having a rough season with Charles. And like I told you, Ferrari's going to make it or break a year. I'm going to keep telling you that because it's true. As far as a driver's concerned, Ferrari as an organization have made way more mistakes than I even would be comfortable with in staying with their team. So that's one thing. So the next thing is we come down. As you see, Sainz is pretty much the same way. He's more across the board, so much more in MGUH, MGUK. He's going to be taking grid penalties. So Ferrari themselves are getting ready to enter very dangerous territory. When it comes down to Mercedes, we see right now, as we look now, remember, we look back in Australia, and this is what we had. Mercedes was cool. It doesn't take much to ruin that. Now, the across the board coming to ICE, TC, MGUH, MGUK, they're right there on the last step, about to knock on that door, asking for grid penalties. They got one more before they fall over the fence. And once they get to that one more, they're right there on the fence. And after that, they've fallen over. We're looking at grid penalties. Esteban is pretty good. Gasly right there is on the porch about to be asking for grid penalties. The entire McLaren team, especially Lando Norris, is already there in EC and CE, but he's about to run it up in every other category. So he's going to be looking at taking grid penalties. And I'm going to tell you right now, I found it very funny. Lando was talking earlier to the crew or whomever he was talking to, and he was saying that this season hasn't been as bad as people have been making it out to be. Yes, it has been, Lando. This season for McLaren has been as bad as it was when you did the livery launch, and Zach Brown and other representatives sounded very lackluster about going into the 2023 season. You sounded very lackluster. The team did, and it has been just that. It's been very lackluster for McLaren. The highlight of McLaren is just seeing if Oscar Piastri can outperform his senior partner in Lando Norris. That's been the highlight. Other than that, yeah, it's been pretty bad for you. So right here, it could get worse for McLaren because they're looking at taking more penalties. Matter of fact, let me look and check in the chats because we probably got some super chats and we got some gifts going on. Matter of fact, let me pop this chat out so I don't miss anything. So Mary Beanie don't have to get on because she does a good job. So let me stretch this chat out. We'll close this window. I got the chat popped out. That way I can see everything that's going on because it looks like we got a lot of live stuff going on right there. And it says, OG Zilla just gifted 10 people with Wolf Pack memberships. Those 10 people are the God PD, Dave, definition of essence. I like that. Sage Yado. Jefferson, congratulations on getting that damn membership. Loyal Woodhouse. Chuck Cannon. Chris Poplar, Ernest Collins, and Bao D. Yo, big shout out. OG Zilla just blessed y'all with a Wolfpack membership. Do your best. Don't waste his generosity. After a month, you will need to go ahead and take ownership of your membership so that you retain that membership and you can remain in the Discord group. Get in the Discord. Trust me, there are perks to being a member. Get in the Discord. Get that green badge so I can send you out your Wolfpack Performance shirt, all right? We got something else. We got another super chat. Freak Dogs Flair says, welcome one and all. Looking forward to this week race. Jay, you have a super chat. Thank you very much. Nah, Automate Tanny, what's up, Nah? Big shout out to you, Queen. What's happening to you? Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to have you with us today. The stars are all there for Lewis. Love it. The more they try to end this man, the bigger he gets. That ain't no lie. Like, Lewis Hamilton gets bigger and bigger. Like, he's bigger than the sport of Formula One as far as his ability to reach outside the sport, to collaborate with other superstars in other sports and other genres, whether it be movies. Don't forget, they're going to start getting ready to film that movie. It's going to be pretty intrusive, but I heard it's looking good. Brad Pitt and the director who did, I believe the director who did Top Gun is part of that. And Lewis Hamilton, it should be awesome. When you have that many great ingredients in a pot, it should be awesome. If it's anything less than awesome, I'm going to tell you right now, if it's anything less than awesome, I'm pissed off. If this movie that Brad Pitt, Lewis Hamilton, and the director of Top Gun produce anything less than awesome, I am not happy about that. All right, and I'm going to show you we don't have any lap times presented yet, so we're not missing anything yet as far as free practice. Like I said, we got a lot of things. We're still going to do trivia questions. We're still going to go over updates. We're right now looking at PU. We're going to look at RNC. So we're going to bring a lot of little information right now in this live. But yes, one movie that I don't care about is Fast and the Furious, this X. Listen, I participated and took part in the filming of Fast 5. That was the last one I cared about even watching. Fast and the Furious has lost their way so bad it's not even funny. That movie is literally trying to compete with Mission Impossible, Transformers, and some other movie that's out there in space. It's not about street cars. It's not about racing. I'm going to tell you the movie that I am highly interested to watch, and it is not no damn Fast and the Furious. Letty and Dom, Vin Diesel, and what's the name, could be out there all they want. It ain't even interesting. It looks horrible. The movie looks horrible. I'm interested in the Gran Turismo. The story based on a true story where a driver who was in esports went and started driving for real. I'm interested in seeing that movie. Fast and the Furious, if it comes on for free and I happen to be making content and put it on in the background, so be it. But I haven't watched the last 3 Fast and the Furious, and I don't plan on watching that one. With that being said, Freak Dogs Flair says in FP1, they said the track surface is like Jeddah. Actually, yes. Really what they were saying was the track itself is similar to Jeddah and hopefully about the speed it can produce. But I'm going to also talk about the track because they ended up changing my favorite portion of the track just a bit by opening it up. And I don't care for that. I wish they would not have done that. I wish they would have left it as is. But even though some cars are still finding it, drivers are still finding it challenging in that area. So I'm okay with that at least. But honestly, I would have preferred if they just left it alone and didn't bother it, but instead they decided to go ahead and change it. So it is what it is, and I'll go ahead and rock with it, but it's not something that I'm very happy about. I wish they would have just left it alone, let the drivers try to find their way around that, and let that be that. Instead, they went and they had to trifle with it, and now it's not the same. So that's that. So let's go ahead and get back to these PUEs. Lewis Hamilton is in the garage, so some of these cars are going to get ready to come out. Nobody, I think we got like 4 cars that are running idle right now, so we're not missing anything. So then we come down to Aston Martin, and as you see right here with Aston Martin, they're also knocking on that door. As you see with Haas, they're knocking on the door. A Condu closer says, Fast F and F lost me ever since F and F2. They got away from the car culture. A Condu, bro, thank you for saying that. That's exactly what they did. They got away from the car culture. The whole series was based on what was happening in real life, which is still interesting today. And what they did was go off trying to be a totally fixed, nonfiction, action, space, Star Wars having movie. And it sucks. It does suck. I don't care what, it sucks. Anytime you got two people in a car that's out of space, where they doing that in street racing? Where they doing that now? Elon Musk is the only person that's put his car out of space, circuit or something. Nobody knows. What is this? What is this crap? Oh my gosh. Thank you very much. Galactic says Miami GP look empty. FP1, FP2, too many fans. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, they out there deep. So then as we go into this also, you see Haas is on the door, AlphaTauri's on the door, and Williams is on the door. All these teams on the door. Look at that in comparison to where we were in Australia. I told you all this. All right, we got Bottas' pit out. He's going out. Joe Alfa Romeo's going out. Looks like Aston Martin's going out, but I told you all this. So then as we come down, we'll look at the RNC. Right here, you see Red Bull's in trouble. Red Bull's about to be in trouble, okay? I think they get allocated four in here. So right now they're already at 2. Mercedes is at 2. They're in trouble. Alpine is definitely in trouble, especially with Pierre Gasly. Aston's getting ready to, well, they're not in trouble. They're halfway there, 50% there, so they're not in trouble. But Alpine with Gasly is definitely about to be knocking on that door. Haas is about 50% up there, and AlphaTauri and Williams are 50% up there. So that's what's happening. So right now, I'll let you take a quick little peek right here. We got cars running out. Bottas is going out there to do his damn thing. We'll see what happens. We already know that itself hasn't been great, right? And also, ticket prices for Miami decreased. I was almost going to take if I had not had racing for the little one tomorrow, I was going to take a flight to Miami, go ahead and get a 2-day pass and do that thing up. But, hey, baby take priority. Freak Dogs Flesh says Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift was my go-to. Tokyo Drift was where it got cringy for me. It got a little cringy, but I still watched it. It still was decent. It got just a tad cringy. F and F2 was, like, definitely cringe-worthy. So, you know, Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift was it was cool. It wasn't the worst, definitely. Oh, Sylvia Wick Kelly gifting somebody in the membership. Swag YOLO, big shot. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. So right now we got Bottas going through his speed for Sector 1 is 209 kilometers an hour. 180 in Sector 2. The finish line is 273 kilometers an hour, and he's speed trapped at 300 kilometers an hour. Right now, Bottas is running up the top. We're going to see what happens when these top teams come out and where they go from there. So as far as RNCs and all that other stuff, we're done with that. The next thing we'll get into is we'll go ahead and get into some of the upgrades that have taken place in a bigger picture and probably look at some slides and some cars. You know, I got to give you some car porn. But right now, we can take a look right here. Bottas and Joe are both at the top. If things change right there, we'll go ahead and switch over and let you see those changes. But how's everybody feeling about being in a regular race week? I'm about to poll that right now. Poll in the chat. Vote on it. Don't dance on it. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask you a question because this came up. And it's funny what drivers had to say. All right, so poll in the chat. Vote on it. Don't dance on it. Or like Freak Dogs Flair might say, you can do both. You can do both. So here we go. Go ahead and answer that question for me. I want to see what you all say. Right now, Bottas and Joe still at the top, so nothing has changed there. So we'll go ahead and flip on back into this, and then we'll see what they end up doing. But, yeah, Bottas and Joe both back at the top. They're still at the top. Nothing's changed. Aston Martin's joined the top 4. You'll see that right there. Aston Martin in 3 and 4 right now. K-Mag, hopefully, maybe he makes it back. Maybe he doesn't. He had some issues on the last race. Hulk was looking good, but then Hulk, I believe, is the one that spun out in FP1, ended up damaging the car, got a little bit offline. Like I said, like we all know, they resurfaced this track. Miami GP is growing still. So even next season, there's going to be some growing pains there. The track's been resurfaced. Certain areas of the track have been changed. The track and this organization are continuously learning every time Formula One returns. So therefore, they're doing things different. The entire paddock is in that stadium, which is cool because people get to go into it's like almost having an ability to go into the paddock, but not really, because you get to go in the stands and look down into the paddock. Whereas when you have regular general admission, you might not ever see the paddock, okay? So Miami has done a good job 2 seasons back-to-back of offering good vantage points and good value for general admissions. And this is why I wanted to go ahead and try to make it to Miami, but they went ahead and said we were racing because supposedly the rain is supposed to hold off. So I didn't catch that flight, but if it was not for that, I was going to be in Miami and go live with you all this morning at the track and do that there. So, but hey, we're gonna be doing with the baby, so hopefully she does well. Well, we got some change right there. Ferrari right now taking the top, and as you see, as soon as I did that, Perez, Red Bull showing up. So we'll see how, and there it goes. Gasly showing up in Alpine, so we know that's not going to last long. Now, Automate Teddy, what's up, Queen? Jay, what's Fast and the Furious? Fast and the Furious is a movie that initially came out about street racing, illegal street racing, and Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, all of them were in it. I met them at Fast 5 recording, and it was a good movie as far as racing and street scene, and they lost it. They completely went into crap. Now, if you go watch the first one and you watch the 9, you'll be like, what happened in between there? What happened was they lost their damn mind. She says, are talking about Verstappen, and I'm probably way off. My teenage boy isn't here to save me. Yeah, definitely not that. He's not there to save you. We'll try to save you, no. Don't worry about it. We'll try to save you. We got some changes right now on the grid. We got Verstappen, Perez, Alpine, and Ferrari. And right now, Albon is back there. And it's kind of been interesting to see that Albon has been making his appearances in that top section with that FW45 from Williams. And also, don't forget, I do got the honey bun on deck. I got the honey bun on deck, so don't think that I don't. By the way, we'll go ahead and start. Let's see. We'll start the trivia game soon. I tell you what, let's go ahead. Let's ask a trivia question. Let's get a trivia question on. So understand this. If you didn't see the trailer that explained the rules to you about trivia, it works like this. I will ask a question. You need to answer with a super chat so it is superimposed and I see you got it in ahead of everybody else. I'm not sifting through the comment section. Next, you need to make sure that you're fast. You want to be the fast because the first person up that gets it gets that point. Do not get discouraged is my third thing, because you still can steal points off of anybody that's in the lead. Last week, we had Freak Dog's Flair came out of nowhere after like 3 or 4 people were on a board. He came out of nowhere, got a question right, and won it all and got his gift card, okay? So don't be discouraged. Just because you see 2 people already got points, you can come on the board, and if you're faster, better at finding the answers and responding, you can get that. You can steal that, all right? So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's get to the first question of free practice / kickback quality trivia. My first question is, here it goes, y'all. 89% of you all also said regular race weekends, and I will respond to something about that. So here we go. First question. Get ready. Get ready. In 2008, who set a record to become the youngest driver to win a Formula One race? In 2008, who set a record to become the youngest driver to win a Formula One race? It's so good to see Nall. It's so good to see her in the chat. We miss you being around, Nall. I'm trying to tell you. I'm glad. You make me glad that I went live today for free practice. How about that? Woo, we got some changes. Max Verstappen laying down purple right there. Still Red Bull in 1 and 2. Alonso 3rd, and Alpine taking up 3 and 4 and 5. So that's what we got right there. So here we go. Who's going to get the answer? In 2008, who set a record to become the youngest driver to win Formula One? Remember, the winner is going to get an opportunity to spend for a $50 or $25 gift card. I'm waiting to see somebody get that gift card. Who's going to go ahead and grab this point? Somebody is already letting y'all know some answers, and if you want to steal those answers to grab those points so you could be the one to get the money, then you go right ahead. In 2008, who set a record to become the youngest driver to win a Formula One race? Nobody must want to get paid. If Will was in here, he'd say, I get paid. He's been paid 3 times back to back. No, it is not Lewis Hamilton. It is not Lewis Hamilton, but I will give you a clue. It's the only other driver who has made it a task to speak up about political and or people issues. Oh, we got K-Mag off the track. K-Mag off the track. Vettel, Freak Dogs Flair, the winner from last week, saying, I'll take that very much. Vettel is correct. Freak Dogs Flair gets that point. Gets that point. Congratulations. He's on the board, so I'm trying to see who else is going to get on this board. Lewis Hamilton having a little issue coming through there, but manages to collect the car and not spin it out, because that's what great drivers do. They have those reflexes. Okay, it says Anada Film 2 was NFS. Oh, yo, that one actually, Need for Speed, was actually a good film as well. Need for Speed 083 coming in at the 083. You got to be faster than that. We got some changes on our board. We got Ferrari in first, Red Bull in 2 and 3. We got Gasly in 5 and Ferrari in 4th. So right now, Red Bull is in between a Ferrari sandwich. We'll see how that keeps going with them. Yes, 083. You got to be faster than that. So right now, Freak Dogs Flair is on the board with 1. Who's going to steal the next point so they can tie it up with them, or who's going to steal the point after that? And we have a 3-way ties. First person to 3 will be able to get that money. Okay, I'm going to spin on finale lap Sunday after the race. You will get your money. There, ask Freak Dogs Flair. Ask him, is he getting his money? Ask Will, did he get his money? I'm going to make sure I send you out your money, guaranteed. So when it comes to that, we had Haas. It looks like both drivers at some point in time during this free practice session today will have spun out on track. We had Nico spin out earlier, and now we had K-Mag spin out, but fortunately, K-Mag did not wreck the car. All right, so that's the best thing about that. Also, do not forget Russell. We will talk about Russell and Mercedes as far as what the car Russell made, and I gotta give Russell some credit. I gotta give him some credit on that. He did a pretty good job deciding that, it needed to come in, and we'll talk about that as well. So right now, let me see, make sure I didn't miss any super chat. It's awesome to see that we got so many memberships going on. Nothing has changed here right now. As you see right there, we are all good in that section. So nothing changed. We still got Red Bull in between the Ferrari sandwich, and we got Gasly and Sargent, Logan Sargent right there in 6. He's at his home GP. Haas is not at a home GP. This is not their home GP. This is Logan Sargent's home GP. Haas is going to have to do way more than that to become relevant in the U.S. to so-called be their home GP. I'm not even entitling or giving Haas that ability just because you're based in the U.S. You haven't done anything to really ingratiate yourself with United States citizenship or viewership. People are hearing this Haas's GP. Who the hell is Haas? They know everybody else. They don't really know Haas like that. Come on now. So come on, it's not even, I'm not even doing it. I don't care how close they are. They don't have the presence. McLaren has a bigger footprint in the United States than Haas does when it comes to Formula One. Mercedes has a bigger footprint in the United States before it does. Matter of fact, Alpine's got a bigger footprint. Tyreek Hill was in the Alpine garage. And as a matter of fact, it was K-Mag who had to take a picture with Alpine and Vin Diesel. It wasn't even like K-Mag was at Haas. It's like Haas is not existing like that in the United States of America. They haven't done a good job, and they need to do better. I don't care if Gunther's getting up there being a DJ. That ain't really much of nothing. Do something else like win races, be better and highly competitive, and shut your mouth talking about other top teams. That's where you could start. You could start there, Gunther. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm only being hard on Gunther because he is a United States team principal based on a United States. He's a team principal in charge of a United States-based Formula One team. And I feel pretty much disappointed that this team has not done better. They have not done the promotion they should, and they don't really have anything I'd represent. I wouldn't want to buy any Haas merch. I'm just being honest with you like that. We have no change right now on the board. As you see right here, we still got Ferrari, Red Bull in that sandwich. We got Alpine all together at 5, but 6 falls short of our top 5. So we're not really concerned about that. And let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's go ahead and Freak Dogs Flair has gotten on the board. We're going to wait to ask another question. I don't want him to steal it all the way. Still got my honey bun on deck just in case I need it. Logan Sargent is in the pits. Bottas is in the pits. And no, Bottas is about to be pit out. Norris is in the pit. It's going to be interesting to see what Norris does and Oscar does. Norris with that helmet. That beach ball, that was a pretty fire lid. I got to give him props on that. That's a fire lid. Last time he came with the basketball, he was going to come with a golf ball, but Albon took that already, and so he came with the beach ball, and I think that's a pretty fitting helmet lid to go with in Miami. We got a little change right now. Now we are staggered. We have Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari. Is this something that we could see? Matter of fact, I'm going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you, who do you think wins the Miami GP? I'm about to ask you that because I want to know what you all feel. All right, so let me give you options. I got to be honest. We got to put him on up there. Now we actually have to put Checo in there based off the time they ran last time. And then I'm not going to put Carlos in there because I don't think Carlos has his soul back. So here you go. Who do you think is going to win the Miami GP? Who do you think wins the Miami GP? This is going to be interesting for me to see. Ooh, look at Russell. Russell crawling up into the top 5 at number 4, just behind Perez, and splitting that Ferrari down to 5th. And Sainz, and I was just talking about Sainz, that I don't think he's got his soul back. He just doesn't seem like He's it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like he's there. I thought he would be doing more, but he's not. He's not there. So we'll see what happens. So we'll just go from there. Um, let's see. 43% of y'all saying Lewis Hamilton. Okay. Max 32%. I'm surprised in that. I'm surprised in the Checo 27%. I thought Checo might be a bit more because the track it's got some areas that it's challenging, especially in that turn. I think 15. Lewis Hamilton coming around track, woo, whipping that thing. Damn, Lewis Hamilton is trying to find the limits of that section that I told you is my favorite section. Turn 14, 15, 16. He's working to try to find the limits. Even Alonso working to try to find those limits. The only thing is, if you take too much of that curb, the car is going to get out of sorts. And if it gets out of sorts too much and that rear tire makes contact with it under pressure, you're going to spin out. Right there, Shaw almost hits that wall. That was another issue right there. And that's why that's my favorite portion of track. 14, 15, 16 is a challenge to be made. 44, oh man, it was 44%. I was going to end the poll on that just to make it look like something. 42%. I'm ending the poll right there. Boom, I'm ending it. Damn, I ended too short. Went to 46. It went to 46. But listen, 46% of you all said you think Lewis Hamilton is going to win. Okay, we'll see 85% of you all said regular race weekends. Now check this out. Whereas a lot of drivers last week were saying we don't need this and we don't need that, and yeah, I think we're good. It's funny that they come into Miami saying that they're glad that they actually have the amount of practice that they're able to have. Well, there we go. That's why I tell you, I'm not in favor of getting rid of all the practices. Maybe one of them, keep FP1, FP2, but getting rid of all the free practice sections is not going to be a good idea. It's not going to work out well. So you had drivers talking like they were all about that life, that no free practice life last week. And now this week they talking about, oh, we so glad we have it. See, you got to be careful what you ask for, because imagine if Formula One decided to come into this race week and say, you know what, one free practice, and then we're going to go into quali. One free practice let's say we have free practice right now, and then tomorrow is about qualifying, and then after qualifying, we go into the race. Those drivers would be screwed. They would be crapping bricks. OG Zilla says Lewis going to win. Crash Strapping going to dive bomb Perez and take out both Red. Oh my gosh, that is a hellacious forecast. That's a hellacious thing right there to say. Right there, there's your boy Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, and Russell sitting right there. That is a hellacious prediction. OG Zilla says Lewis is going to win. Crash Strapping is going to dive bomb Perez and take both RB19s out of the race. If that happens, social media is going to erupt. Do you hear what I'm saying? It is going to erupt. Like that will be a crazy situation. That will be an entirely crazy situation. I'm letting you know right now. It is crazy that one of the mechanics actually has a bucket cap on. He literally has a Miami bucket cap. Like being in Miami, I'm telling you, the Miami GP I think is going to be one of the best things. Can't go with you can't go wrong, Baraka. You can't go wrong with the delicious honey buns, bro. You can't. 083 says this new sprint format is a solution in search of a problem. What kind of problem? What kind of problem do you think it's a solution in search of? That's a very interesting take. 083. That's very interesting. What problem do you think they're trying to solve? I would like to know that. Oof. There we go. Oh, also they shortened up the DRS zone. I don't know why they did that. I don't think that was a good idea. Okay. And it's very funny that here we are right here, just to go ahead and let you know, still keeping track. We got Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz. They're all in the pit, so there's nothing going to change right there. I don't think any of the top other teams outside of Aston Martin are going to breach those times. You'd be fortunate enough to even see if Alpine does right now, because we're in FP2 now. Maybe FP3 in qualifying, you're likely to see some of these times get really breached, but I don't think right now. But yeah, I wonder what kind of problem you think they're in search of trying to solve, because that's a very interesting take. I'm not opposed to what you're saying. I think what you're saying might have some validity to it. I would just like you to provide a little bit more context as to what you are speaking of. So yeah, let's see. Nal Automate says, will Red Bull let Perez and Verstappen compete fair? Nal, I tell you what, I will turn that into a poll, because that is a very good question. We are taking comments and turning them into polls. If you do a good super chat and a comment and I like it, I'm turning it into a poll for everybody to vote on. So Nal says, let me go ahead and make sure I get everything right. I'm about to put that in right now because it's a good question. We're turning that super chat into a poll. It says, will Red Bull let Perez and Verstappen compete fairly? Poll in the chat, dance on it, and vote on it. Freak Dogs Flair. Compliments of Freak Dogs Flair. Dance on it and vote on it. Live it up. Have a good time. Go ahead and do your thing. Do your thug thizzle. I want to know. Oh, 100% already say no. Oh, well, it was yes, and say no. Galactica says, OG, I remember when Danny and Max crashed out. Ooh, look at Galactica's bringing back some history, some historical views. 69%. Right now, we still got all the top teams right there still in the pit. We don't need to worry about that changing right now. We're going to see what happens. Now, look, if you see, oh, there it goes. Norris jumps to the top of the boards. 128, beach ball helmet guy jumps to the top of the boards. Welcome, Lando. Enjoy what it feels like to be number one temporarily, because that will not last long for you. I'm hoping that changes later on in the season as you all develop over time. But as of right now, it's a little rough for Orlando and McLaren right now. So we got to see what's going to happen with that. But right now, I mean, it's good to see that, but I don't think that's going to stick. And if it does stick, that will be a very monumental amount of progress since they brought updates back in Baku and then kind of fine tuning those updates now in Miami. If they actually wind up being in the top 5 and then they can actually go into the GP and stay in the top 5, that is not only bad news for other teams, because now that top 5 spot will start to be solidified. And oh, that look ugly. I think that's a camera. That got to be a camera trick. That can't be real, is it? What kind of situation was that? It looked like the Red Bull tires were leaning. I hope that was a camera trick. I hope that was like the heat off the ground playing tricks on my eyes. Kondu says, nope, Red Bull about to give Perez a 20-second pit stop. Damn. My bro said a 20-second pit stop. Oh, my gosh, that would be so horrible. That would be so bad. 82% of you do not believe in Red Bull's integrity to give both drivers the fair opportunity to win a championship. It seems like at least 82% of you are saying that Red Bull are going to pull the shenanigans. Now, a lot of people are waiting to see what's going to happen in the race as far as Perez's pace and his ability to feel comfortable in the car. Right here, as you see, Norris is still at the top with a 128.74. Leclerc from Ferrari takes sector 1 at 222 kilometers an hour. Sainz takes sector 2, 192 kilometers an hour. Perez takes the finish line at 283 kilometers an hour. And Perez also takes the speed trap at 345 kilometers an hour. He is smoking, baby. Right now, track winds 8.6 kilometers an hour due southeast. Track temperatures are 39.2 Celsius. Air is 28.4 C. And humidity is 55%. 083 says F1 management wanted to manufacture more excitement. In my view, more excitement. In my view, management wants to be the star of the show with the drivers. Oh, we're talking about like some Jerry Jones-esque type situations right there. And you know what? I think you're right. And I've said this, and I've said things that would actually tell you that I agree with you. Oh my gosh, hold on. We got the team McLaren shows up to 1 and 2. What it do? McLaren back trying to do what they do. By the way, McLaren inviting like all the stars up in their garage. Like McLaren, this is what I mean by McLaren does an astounding job at shaking hands with the American people and bringing in the attractions that are going to bring the eyeballs. They had Letty, they had Dom, they had ended up, I think they had A$AP Rocky. I know Mercedes had A$AP Rocky, Ferrari had A$AP Rocky, but A$AP Rocky is really just really popular because Rihanna. By the way, Rihanna and Lewis Hamilton dating at one point in time. It was very cool and very nice to see that two men who once shared the same woman at two different times. By the way, big congratulations to A$AP Rocky and Rihanna for the baby and the baby on the way. But it's very good to see Lewis Hamilton and A$AP Rocky be able to embrace each other without all the BS, right? You don't need to have all that BS. Like, it was very good to see that. I was very happy to see that. So big shout out to A$AP Rocky and big shout out to Lewis Hamilton. You know that. Verstappen is still hanging on to third right there. Albon creeped up to 4. Leclerc is at 5. We're going to see how this thing shakes out. This thing could get pretty crazy. We're on board with Alonso right now. Alonso is sitting at 12. It seems, don't hold me to this, but it's starting to seem like either Aston Martin are not making any progress that's showing in race pace, and Ferrari and Mercedes are creeping it up. And it seems like the emerald green team that we once thought was going to like take this entire season by storm is starting to be pushed back to their norm. That's what it's starting to look like. By this time, we were really accustomed to seeing Alonso, at least not so much Stroll, but we were really accustomed to seeing at least Alonso no less than top 4 at this point in time, pushing that pace. So it's going to be interesting to see when he finishes his hot lap where he's going to finish. He's already at 0.7. What is he? No, he's at 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. He's not going to make it. He's 2.8. He's not going to make that. He's not going to make it. 2.9. Yeah, I knew he wasn't going to make that. So he still doesn't even breach that. And it looks like right now he stays right. Oh, he pops up to 2, though, but he doesn't make it to beat Norris out. Think about that. Think about that. Show you right now, we got the movement. Alonso moves over to 2, just behind Norris, splitting Piastri and Norris, pushing Verstappen down to 4, Albon to 5. But think about that. He's sitting right there between McLaren. Sainz going ahead and rocking up to number 2. So I'm not too sure if Aston Martin, I mean, they came out the gate swinging, but now the question is going to be, can they develop throughout the course of the season to stay competitive? You can't stay still in the sport of Formula One. If you're staying still, you're behind. So now it's going to come to how is Aston Martin's development game? Can they develop at the pace and at the efficiency as the other teams like Mercedes, like Red Bull, like Ferrari? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Ferrari's been fumbling up, but it would seem right now that Ferrari in the last 2 races have developed a little bit of something to bring them back up out of the mud so much. No, Automate Tanny says Stroll is very differential to Alonso. He wasn't all with Seb. Why? Ooh, that's a look at you. That's I'm telling you, I talked about Alonso and his mentality. And matter of fact, Danny B hit the nail on the head. Lawrence Stroll is Lance Stroll daddy. Strollovich, whatever you want to say. That's his daddy. And Alonso might be brazy, but he ain't crazy. And he's not going to push the buttons, because I'm going to tell you right now, you get between Lawrence and his son, if you not on the brink of winning the championship, you are able to find an unemployment Formula One driver's line. Straight up. Lance has an indefinite contract. And ain't no telling when it is. He with the team as long as his daddy with the team, or he say, I don't want to drive anymore. That's what I believe. I believe his contract, it says expiration date when you feel. 083 says McLaren has a rich history in the U.S. True. And so much love that stems from the Bruce McLaren was a lot. Hey, facts. 083 dropping some bombs in the super chat today. Dropping some bombs in there. Let me find out. By the way, let's go ahead and go into some other things. Let's go into some updates. Let's go into some updates real quick while they're out there playing around on track. So let me go ahead and transition over. We're going to talk about Haas. Haas has done some things to the floor body, performance, local load, control of the pressure distribution, and the management of the lateral flow is what Haas is trying to accomplish right there. We will see if that actually presents itself in the race. By the way, we do have another update right here. Albon joining the top 3 right there. So we got Norris, Sainz, and Albon, top 3 right there. So, yeah, we're going to see if Haas, these updates that they bought will become upgrades. Right now, they're 16 and 18. That's relative to me. They said they wanted to be a midfield competing team. Right now, if you're not in between, 6 and 11, if you're not in between 6 and 11, you ain't midfield to me. Everything else, you're in the back. I'm telling you right now, 1 to 5 is top of the field. Matter of fact, I'll give 6 to 15 midfield, and 16 to 20, you just a back marker. And I told you, Haas is not even similar to a bookmark, because at least a bookmark, keeps moving forward as you read those pages. And as I say that, K-Mag going ahead and popping up to number 6, not breaking that top 5 yet. But, hey, congratulations for getting out of the dumps. But remember, this is still FP2. A lot of things can change and take place. All right, so let's go. So that's what we got for Haas as far as their update. The next one we got up for update is Ferrari. Ferrari has been the talk of the paddock as far as their updates that they have brung up here. And Russell is looking like he's on a damn string. He is ripping it around that track on soft compound tires. It's going to be interesting to see what his time is. I'm hoping he lays a nice hot lap. So as Ferrari sits, it's still the floor body. So it seems like a lot of teams, or these teams at least this time around, are focusing on that floor just as much as last season. The floor is going to be just as important this season. That's an important and crucial area of this new era of regulation of cars until they get it dialed in. And that's going to be flow conditioning. They aim to improve the overall aerodynamics and performance and car efficiency is what Ferrari are trying to do. Now, that is a very interesting term. We're going to pop you right here. Max Verstappen doing what Max Verstappen typically does in the RB19, and that's laying down purple sectors last and best, taking top of the chart in FP2. Charles sitting right behind him, letting him know that I'm still going to tap on your door. Lando kind of starting to be pushed out that back door like you don't belong here. You don't belong here, Lando. But Lando, try to show him that you do belong there. All right, so there we go. Aim to improve the overall aerodynamic performance and car efficiency. All right, the next team that we're going to talk about is the Emerald Green team. We just finished speaking on them briefly a second ago, and that team worked on the cooling louvers, which we will show pictures of that. Freak Dogs Flair said George abandoned that lap, and that definitely did suck. We're also going to get on to George, but they do circuit-specific changes to the cooling louvers. Now, remember, Miami by many drivers has been stated to say it is hot. I've been in Miami. It's humid. It could rain at any given time. It is a different heat if you're not accustomed to growing up in the southern region for real. People that come out of north or from other countries come into that area, that condition of that environment, and they get straight drenched and they get zapped of all their energy. I can perform in that environment like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in those environments, especially been in the military. So the next team that we got is Aston Martin. They cooling louver specific cooling capacity, allowing operating targets to be met in hotter conditions, and that's going to be in response to Miami track, of course. And last but not least, AlphaTauri, they're going to do the front wing for performance load. Blue Diva, congrats on the super chat. Thank you very much, Freak Dogs Flair. Blue Diva says Max having issues with the headrest, so Red Bull are asking for authorization from the FIA to fix it, and they should. They should. Right now, I'll go ahead and show you what we got so far for lap times. We got Max Verstappen, Charles, Norris, Sainz, Alonso with DRS cracked, trying to stay in that top 5. Hopefully, they do allow them to fix it. I don't want to see any driver take the circuit with unreliable safety equipment, because that can result in bodily injury or death, which is one of the worst situations, and we don't want to see that. All right, so we got the front wing from AlphaTauri, increase the energy in the flow downstream and allows the floor to generate more load. And then they're going to concentrate on the side pod inlet. Reduction in the wake losses allows rear of the car to receive higher energy flow, improving downforce to generate as a result. All right, so not as many very what do we call it, like big time upgrades or updates right there, but there are some in the mix. So those are the ones we got, but we're probably like Imola. A lot of people are waiting on Imola, one, because of Mercedes, and we're looking to see, is that car going to change aesthetically? Russell right now is on the radio. Russell was on the radio earlier. It seemed that Russell might be having a chatty patty type free practice. Hopefully Mercedes gets that resolved before the race, because I don't want Russell to have the chatty patty about mechanical issues, setup issues. If anything else, just let it be about his driving issues. Right now, what's up, Racer X210? Ferrari better show up big this week. I know Niki Lauda is furious in his coffin. Yeah, I think Niki Lauda knows what Ferrari is. If anything, I think he's rolling over about Mercedes in the direction that they've taken as of late to put themselves in the position that they've put themselves in. I think that's where Niki Lauda is having his issues. I think he kind of got warmed up when he went into Ferrari, realizing that they were kind of muffing things up. And then as he left Ferrari, realizing that they would continue to, kind of muff things up intermittently, I should say, not consistently, but intermittently. And they've done that. And now, they're trying to show us Sainz in 2, Leclerc in 3. Right now, Ferrari in the Red Bull sandwich. But Ferrari is consistently right now through the course of the last 2 races showing us that they can join the top 4 cars up there, being one of the top 2 teams. But the problem with Ferrari is this: they don't bring it like that on race day. We've already seen Ferrari be quali kings. We want to see you be race pace kings. We want to see that red car on the top of the podium, crossing the finish line first. That's what we want. We want to see situations like we saw last time when Leclerc was running out there like Free Willy with no Captain Ahab in sight. We want to see those moments from Ferrari. We want them to finish them out as so, and they haven't done that. That's what we're looking for. Ooh, Albon saving that FW45. Running into the runoff area. Could have made it bad for that Williams car, but he didn't, showing his seasoned ability to save that car in distress. Big shout out to Albon. All right, here we go. We got another one. We have another Trivia question coming. Trivia question on the way. Remember, you have to answer with a super chat. Not going to scale through there to try to find all the answers. You have to be faster than that. Right now, the only person we have on the board is Freak Dogs Flair. You can steal a point and get on the board yourself. Last time we had like a 4 or 3-way tie with each player having one answer, and then Freak Dogs Flair comes out of nowhere and wins the entire package. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the question. Get your thumbs ready. Get your fingers ready. Get your phones ready. Get ready to find out what this answer is. When Michael Schumacher entered the first Grand Prix in 1991, what team, engine supplier, and tire did he race with? When Michael Schumacher entered his first Grand Prix in 1991, what team, engine supplier, and tire did he race with? This is a 3-part question. That means you need all three answers to be correct. Even if you come one answer and then you give the other 2 on a later super chat, I'll still give that to you because altogether you got all 3 answers. But it's a 3-part question, so you need 3 answers. What team, what engine supplier, and what tire did he race with? Michael Schumacher, 1991. Let's go. These questions are going to get a little bit more challenging. Let's go. Let's see who's going to get this question. Who's trying to get the money? Who's trying to get a $25 or $50 gift card, Visa gift card, spend your money anywhere? All you got to do is get 3 answers right. You ain't have to pay nothing to get in. Come on, what are you going to do? Who's going to get this answer? Freak Dogs Flash said, I'll take another gift card because Will's not here. Where's Will at? Will was Randy Macho Man Savage talking about everybody. Will said he wanted to be here. Will better get up. Will might come out of nowhere. Will might be waiting in the depths to let somebody get 2 questions and then try to come out and steal it. And out of all people, he might try to steal it from Freak Dogs Flair. When Michael Schumacher entered his first GP in 1991, what team, engine supplier, and tire did he race with? Who has the answer? I need to know who has the answer. Don't tell me I got a bunch of people in here that don't have no answers. Come on now. You got to answer with a super chat. I don't care if it's 2 cents, 50 cents, $1, $5. I don't care what it is. It just needs to be in super chat. Let's see. Michael Schumacher entered 1991. What team, what engine supplier, and what tire did he race with? Let me know I think this question is just hard for some people. I think that's what this is. This question got people thrown. They like, damn. They probably trying to find that tire. That's probably what they're trying to find. They're probably trying to find that tire. Okay, I just gave you a massive tip. She did give you a massive tip. Here we go. Galactica says Sauber, Renault, and Goodyear. You got one of those correct. One of those correct. You got one of those correct. Not chassis, what team? You got one of those correct. Goodyear is correct. Ooh, Wildcat. You got 2 out of 3 correct. Team Jordan and Goodyear are the tire, but the engine supplier is not correct in 1991 for Team Jordan. Who was that engine supplier? Somebody can take those, put your answers together, and get all 3. Galacticus has 1 of 3. Wildcat has 2 of 3. The only thing Wildcat does not have right is the engine supplier. And it's very funny because I'm going to give you a tip. That engine supplier minus a partner, 083. You got Ford right. You need the other 2. You need the other 2 from Wildcat. You got Ford right. You need the other 2 answers from Wildcat that he got right, and then you can steal a point. Or Wildcat can come in and steal that point if he put Jordan, Ford, and Goodyear. Freak Dogs Flair ain't playing with y'all. Freak Dogs Flair said, I'm not playing with y'all. He gave y'all so many time. He gave y'all so much time and opportunity. He said, I'm not playing. The answer is Team Jordan. The engine supplier was Ford Cosworth, and the tire was Goodyear. Freak Dogs Flair with 2 points. He needs 1 more point to win. Y'all gonna let him win like that? No, Automate Tanny coming in. Reno, Benton, and Bridgestone. Thank you for trying, no. That is not correct, but thank you for trying. She came in and said, I'm gonna give it a go. Freak Dogs, who's gonna steal these points off Freak Dogs, man? He's got 2 points right now. He needs 1 more point. If he gets 1 more point, thank you. This cat rocks. Team Jordan, Ford engine, and Goodyear tires. You got the answer right. You just needed to be faster than that. I told y'all got to be fast. You got the answer exactly right, this cat rocks. Had you did that before, you would have stole a point from Freak Dogs Flair, and you would have been tied up. Keep trying. It is going to be, though. 1 point separates Freak Dogs Flair from being a 2-time back-to-back winner right now. Who wants to get this? Who want to get it? All right. We're going to ask another question later. We're going to let y'all chill a little bit. We're going to let y'all chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let you get your mind right. Do some finger exercises. Like do some spirit finger so you can get pow. So you can be ready. All right. All right. So Freak Dogs Flair, 2 points. He needs one more point to win. You can steal all. Listen, last week when he started playing, he was in this same situation where somebody already had 2. They already had 2. Matter of fact, who was it? I think I still got the paper right here. Who was it? I thought I still had the paper. He had 2. He came in and stole the whole damn thing. Stole it out of nowhere with 0 points, came to win it out of nowhere. Keep that in mind. All right, so let's go right here. Transition to the board. We got Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, and Alonso, top 5. Lewis Hamilton and Russell. It looks like they're struggling. It looks like Russell's struggling a bit more than Lewis Hamilton. Russell's getting pushed into the garage. Russell's been having issues this entire time throughout free practice, FP1, now FP2. We'll see what's going on. It looks like he's having a little issue right there. So now let's go ahead and let's talk about let's look at some car porn. Let's look at some car porn. I like looking at car porn because car porn is good. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these awesome cars right here because awesome cars are good to look at. Now, I told you all before that Aston Martin is indeed a composition of 3 different teams: Ferrari, Alpine, and Red Bull, okay? From their side profile of their side pod, it's very reminiscent of Red Bull S. But as you come to the top shoulder area and all of that good stuff, that's going to be Ferrari. And even Alpine is still Ferrari. But Alpine took Ferrari's design and really made it, kind of shifted it their own with that deep galley into that downwash section in the side pod. Look at that galley in there. That is deep. That is one of the things that is majorly probably contributing to Aston Martin's success this season, as well as their floor development. All right. They got the same power unit as Mercedes. Suspension they're using like Mercedes. The difference is their aero package, and they're probably their aero in the suspension, but more likely their aero, which is really benefiting them. All right. We'll take let's look at one of these other pictures right here. Here's a nice picture of that Aston as they kind of changed their nose up some earlier this part of the season coming up to now. Very skinny, mosquito-like dart looking nose. Very nice. Again, kind of, I think maybe I have to look at the Ferrari and kind of look closer to that. But as you see right there, that Red Bull S inlet right there as well as some of their floor kind of gives me a little Red Bull feel as well too. But their side pod is like a composition of 3 different teams. So credit to Aston Martin there. The changes up on their louvers. So as you see right there, this is Miami, whereas this was Baku. So you can see the changes right there where they opened up more of those vents. So you have more vented section. Not that it's like, oh, that's a major change, but it does make a difference on if that package is running cooler or hotter, and you don't want to overheat these cars right now because you could go out of a race for an overheating issue. As we come to Alpine, look at Alpine. This is what I was talking about, how they took some from Alpine, how Aston Martin took Alpine's downwash design and just really kind of elaborated on it. As well as Ferrari, but Ferrari started that gully, that valley in that side pod downwash area, period. As you see right there, Alpine also with those cooling louvers opened up. I think those are considerably bigger than they were in Baku probably, because it does look like, and it might even be an extra one in there, even though we didn't see them on that board. I'm kind of thinking I might be tripping, but that does seem that it's a bit more opened up than it was in Baku. And then here's the Alpine looking from the front, kind of corner area right there. Very nice car. I like the color combination. I like the incorporation of the pink. I like when they run the all pink car, but even this color combination is awesome. Look back there, you see they got looks like the Challenger back there in the background. Also right here, come the Alfa Romeo right there. You know, the floor flicks, the stake. They have a very good looking car, just not a very highly competitive car this season. And right now, let's go ahead and flip over to the board real quick. We got Verstappen still in 1, Sainz in 2, Leclerc in 3, Perez in 4, and Alonso in 5. And then we'll come on back over here, check out some more of these pictures. We're going to ask some more questions in a minute to see who's going to try to break Freak Dogs Flair's run, because right now he's on a winning streak right now. And then as we come right here, the back of the Alfa Romeo, the beam wing section, look how they got their setup. Very, very much different than the Red Bull. And I know everybody's considering talking about the triple DRS. I mean, I don't know how much I'm buying into that whole, elaborate triple DRS thing. But I told you all as much as this last season, Red Bull was getting very creative with their beam wing section, and they've been developing in that area, unlike Alfa Romeo claiming that they did so much development in the rear of the car, and we haven't seen if that development has done anything different for them. Red Bull have done development in the rear of that car, and it shows on track every time they're improving on a very nice foundation of a platform right now. All right, so then we'll go ahead. Williams right there. I'm still not really sold on that battery thing up top. It looks really gimmicky to me. I wish it would go away. I wish they would just make it all red right there and just keep the Duracell where it is. But as it sits right there, nice car, nice blue, nice combination. I think they should have kept the same variation they did with the W so that the W on the side of the car is more pronounced. They kind of got away from that and it's a little bit more distorted. Definitely always ought to like that Valvoline red, blue, and that light blue. I think that's a very awesome color. It reminds me of Valvoline. Although they got the golf partnership, I think they should have did a little bit more to incorporate that. I think at some point in time, like Williams should change their livery to kind of more complement that golf. Even though their biggest sponsor, I think, is Duracell, I think it would be a dope looking car. As it sits right now, we're still not looking at any change on the board. Sylvia Witt Kelly says 53 likes. And there's been more people than that through this chat, Sylvia Witt Kelly, but you're giving them a break. Smash the like button. Subscribe. It helps the channel so much. Show support. Join the family. Hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you a thing to hit the like button, all right? It doesn't cost you a thing. And as it sits right now, we can flick right back and we'll see. We got Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, and Alonso and Norris right there. So that's what's going on there. We'll go ahead and let's flick through this. We got the W14. Now listen, I want to, you know what? Let's see. Let's start a poll on this. What area of the W14 do you think changes the most by Imola? That is a question right now. We're going to go ahead. You're going to all probably hit on that. So I'm going to put that one in there. That's a give me. Which you probably won't be able to see. I'm going to also say this section because I think that's very important. And, oh, yeah. All right, here you go. Poll in the chat. Don't dance on it. Just vote on it. What area of the W14 do you think changes the most by Imola? Let me know. Which area do you think? Side pod, the floor, the seat positioning, the rear diffuser. What do you think changes the most where you're going to look and say, that's different? That's different. By the way, Sector 1 belonged to Leclerc at 223 kilometers an hour. Piastri has Sector 2 at 193 kilometers an hour. Sargent has the finish line at 283 kilometers an hour, and Perez still has the speed trap at 345 kilometers an hour, and Lewis Hamilton is off track cutting across, luckily not wrecking up or damaging that car, running into anybody else, comes back on track, but he was off track for a moment right there, and nothing still has changed in the top 5 positions, so there's no sense to look at that. And Jay London says the suspension and the floor will change the most on the Imola package. Jay London, good job. Way to add that in. Way to add that in, buddy. Russell on spin cam. That was Russell, my bad. My bad, Ham. That was Russell. That was Russell on the spin cam. That's what I'm talking about. Russell on spin cam right now. I thought that was Lewis Hamilton at a glance, but it was Russell. Russell spinning it out, then spinning it back in, right now he's trying to audition for Fast and the Furious. He's trying to audition for Fast and the Furious, so we'll see what happens. So right here, let's go. Then next, you'll see Freak Dogs Flare, side pod, and floor. I think the floor and the side pod will be the most thing that sticks out. I think the floor changes so much that it changes the rear diffuser area. Right now, Alonso trying to follow through that section 14, 15. Listen, 14, 15, 16, I'm going to be loving to watch those. Don't forget, I'm going to make race day waffles. I will post up what waffle flavors you think I'm going to make next, and we'll see who gets it right. So then right there, the W14. And then also, here it is when they were running into issues in FP1. Russell making a very commanding call here, and I credit him for this because he was like, listen, I don't care about if I gotta sacrifice time out here in free practice if it's 30 minutes. Like, we have a full 3 free practice sessions. Bring me in. It doesn't feel right. I can't drive like this. And he comes in, and when he comes back out, he does better. I give him credit for making that call. That's one thing I'll give Russell credit for. He's going to say what he wants, what he feels. I'm not saying everybody's going to agree with it, because I totally understand that. What are y'all? Matter of fact, let me ask you this. 42% of you all said the floor. Let me ask you what you think about this Red Bull Miami livery. Let me ask you what you think about that. Let me see if you like it or you don't like it. I think it's kind of fly. I think it's all right. I think I'll tell you what I think after y'all vote. Do you like the Red Bull livery for Miami? Let me know what you think. Lap times, here they come to you. We got Verstappen, we got Sainz, we got Charles, and we got Perez, and we still got Alonso at the back door at 5, just ready to get pushed out of there. Yeah, let's go. Vote on it. Don't dance on it. Vote on it. Don't dance on it. Here you go. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way. So listen, do you like the Red Bull racing livery for Miami? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I talked about him. I'm already making a post about Charles Leclerc. I keep saying this about Charles. And when I make this post later on after we finish, we got a red flag because of a red car and a driver that I've already said this about. And you know what? I'm going to make the post after free practice because I was going to make it anyway. We've seen this picture too many times. Here it is. Y'all, I talked about it already, about Mercedes possibly, and here it is, a very similar image. I might as well clip that image and put it back into the thing before I post it. Charles Leclerc running off track into the barrier, locking it up so much that the tire marks are straight, looking like a scene from Back to the Future before the car burned off and went into the past, walking off because he wrecked the car, front wings hanging off everywhere. Damn it, Charles. Oh, my gosh. Charles, you know what? This one's for you, buddy. This one is for you. Let me just go ahead and do this right now. Let me just go ahead and change this. Let me change this up, man. Let me change this up. He ain't going to prove Ferrari right. He ain't going to prove him right this season doing that. Look at him. Lock it up. Beep, pow. Wrecked it all the way up. Screwed it up. As soon as he put his head down. No, Automated Teddy. The remaining 5 races of 1991, Schumacher raced for Benton and Renault engine. Schumacher chose Benton because at the time, much more stable team. Just talking F1 history. F1 history is incredible and is part of today's F1. Just sharing with you, fam. Nice. Thank you very much. The remaining, yo, no. No, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all keep trying me. I got people like this I got hitters like this all over the family. They be knowing they ish. Nall's giving y'all something that sectionally happened in 1991. Indeed, he did. Benton and Renault engines. He did do that. Thank you very. No, that I'm pinning that. I'm pinning that right now. I'm pinning that. Can I pin this comment? Hey, let one of my moderators, somebody go pin that comment. I'm finna get in the super chat. I'm finna get in the chat right now and see if I can pin that comment, because when somebody lays down historical facts and like good information for people to learn from, that just gets my juices flowing. No, thank you very much. Y'all salute her for that. Salute her for that. That's what I'm talking about. No, let me find your chat right now and see if I can pin that. I can't pin it. Damn it. Man, that sucks. I want to pin that so bad. That is an awesome point. Somebody give Nall extra credit. Matter of fact, I'm finna give her the GOAT. I'm finna give Nall the GOAT for real. That was GOAT right there. That was GOAT. She come in like, let me tell y'all something. Big shout out to Nall for that. Super duper super chat. Freak Dogs Flair, Charles Leclerc earning his name. Crash Leclerc. Hey, he might be for real. We might have to switch up his name. Real talk. We might have to switch up his name, Freak Dogs. We might have to call him Crash Leclerc for real. I think that's gonna be a real thing. OG Zilla says, that's why I said I like Albon over Charles for the Merc seat if Lewis retires. Man, with this happening right now, I can't even be mad at you for feeling that way. Because I don't think Charles is as competitive. I don't think Albon is as competitive and as edgy as Charles, which if it's done right, he can be at the top. But he shows lack of control and ability to like make these decisions where they impact the team the most. And it kills it. It kills it. I'm not lying. I literally already have a shorts video talking about this, and here it is right now. He does it, and so much that I might have time to clip that picture, edit it, and then post it, adding that in. That's a damn shame. Goodness gracious, Charles. Anyway, oh my gosh. So let's go ahead. We'll show you this real quick. Sylvia Wick Kelly says, "No, our F1 queen." I'm telling you, we got a few of them in the chat. Nah, be coming with it. Maria Duncan, Sylvia Wick Kelly, Mary Beanie, Blue Diva. I'm telling you, we got some queens in here that be knowing they stuff. Don't try me like that. So right now we got Leclerc. He is out of there like baseball. It's fitting since Joe and Botas were out there throwing baseball. I know. Listen, people be trying to get on me about how I say Botas. I know I say Botas. I've been saying that for the longest. I say it intentionally, Botas. I mean, I'm not going to change it. I know it's Botas. I know you want the AHS, but I say Botas, and that's what it's going to be. So just deal with it. Deal with it. So right here, Perez 4, Alonso 5, and we'll get back here to look at some things because Charles is about to go to the motorhome and probably go to the club. He probably going to go to, damn, what's a club down there? They be jumping too. Oh, it's a restaurant down there they be jumping too. But yeah, he probably gonna go to Diamonds. He probably gonna go there. He probably gonna do his thing there. So yeah, he probably gonna go to Club Live. He probably gonna do that. So we'll see what happens. But are y'all feeling the red? 58% of y'all said no. Let me tell you what I think they did wrong. They should have took the pink and the blue of that Miami situation and went all the way. They should have went ahead and went light blue with the yellow, and they should have went pink with the bull. And that car to me would have been lit. That would have been lit to me. They should have did that. They should have got the approval to change the Red Bull logo with those colors for Miami, and that to me would have been a lit livery. I would have been on board with that. Unfortunately, I got to go grab dinner. Freak Dogs Flair, I tell you what, I asked one more question. Listen, Freak Dogs Flair said he finna get out of here. I'm going to ask one question before he goes to see if he might win this thing. Super chats only. Here goes the next question. Which F1 driver wore a Superman cape on the podium at the Monaco Grand Prix? Which F1 driver wore a Superman cape on the podium at the Monaco GP? Come on, who is it? Who is it? I got to know who's going to get this right. Who's going to get this right? Tell me, which driver wore a Superman cape on the podium at the Monaco Grand Prix? This is going to be a good one. This is out of left field right here. This is out of left field. I want to see who's going to get this right. Who's going to get this one right? Freak Dogs Flair says he's leaving it to somebody to win a gift card. Which driver wore a Superman cape on the podium at the Monaco Grand Prix? You got to answer with Super Chat. I be feeling bad for people that answer and don't follow the format, and then they get an answer stolen. And then it's like, dang, I really wanted you to get the answer. You just didn't answer right. You got to follow the format. Charles out of there. Bow. Come right across that Pirelli, too. Put them skid marks on it. They not answer with anybody want to take it. Which driver wore a Superman cape on the podium at the Monaco Grand Prix? Who wants to get this money? We talking about a $50, $25 gift card. It spins. Whichever one you get. Wildcat, it is not Vettel. It is not Vettel. So that's one driver that is not. I'll tell you this. This driver is no longer on the grid today. They are no longer on the racing grid today in a garage in a car. Horner didn't drive good enough to wear a baby bib. Horner didn't drive a car good enough to wear a baby bib. Coulthard, Freak Dogs! Oh my gosh! Freak Dogs Flair is playing with y'all. He says, in the absence of Will, I am the man. He's toying with y'all. He said, I got to go grab dinner. Y'all can have it. He said, y'all not doing y'all thing. I'll take that. Freak Dogs Flair is right. It is Coulthard. He is exactly, oh my gosh. Freak Dogs gets 3 questions back to back, winning again. He will spin for a $25 or $50 gift card Sunday at Finale Lap. Congratulations, Freak Dogs. He say, I'm coming for Will's record. I am coming for Will's record. Will right now has the longest streak in the kickback quality with 3. Freak Dogs is getting ready to knock on his door, having 2 back-to-back. Oh, my gosh. So I'm going to make my note. Freak Dogs, you got it. This cat rocks. It is not Horner. Horner probably, like I said, he ain't won enough races to wear a baby bib. Freak Dogs Flair spinning for a gift card. Let's go ahead and check out the timing board real quick. As you see right here, it is Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, and Alonso. I don't even think these teams are too much even going to be worried about it anymore as we come down to the last few minutes of the free practice 2, and then they'll have free practice 3 tomorrow. But by then, I'll be at practice with the baby in the cart, and then we'll be in qualifying, and then we have a doubleheader. So likely, I think she's going to end up having 4 heats total tomorrow. So a lot of driving. I'm hoping that we do not have any accidents or incidents because the other parts did not make it here. We got our new tie rod and spindle, but the spare tie rod and spindles did not make it. Free Dogs Flair spinning that wheel for that money. Dang. I'm putting a note right here, Free Dogs. I got you. I got you right there, bro. Spinning for that money. So we got plenty of questions. Let me mark these questions off so we don't use these again. And oh my goodness, he said he's coming with the fury. So those questions are out of there. So we still have questions for the next time we are here. And right now, seconds remaining. Also, I think we looked at all the pictures. No. So let's go ahead and finish up looking at some of these pictures before free practice ends. As you see right here, the Red Bull. Also, the Red Bull floor area. Now, earlier in free practice FP1, they had high flow viz on the car so they can try to see what was going on with the airflow. So now right here, you come to the back of the Ferrari where a lot of updates have happened as far as their diffuser. That's kind of Mercedes S compared to what they did with that step up in the diffuser area. Now, right here, you have AlphaTauri bringing some updates right now to their mirror area, and you'll see the difference right here. In Baku, you just had those little fin bits. This time, they've added another plane of that carbon fiber with the fin bits still there, but also right there. So doing some little different things there with airflow and probably support as well. But yeah, that is a definitely a different change from Baku to Miami. Wildcat says this is BS. He also says can't win trivia, can't win livery, can't win races, just can't win. I give up. Y'all got it. I'm going silent. No, bro, you like the livery king, bro. You know you got hella wins in your back livery. Don't do that quitting stuff, bro. You good. You just got to be faster than that, man. It's all about being fast and being on it. That's all. You going to get it. I tell you what, you can't win if you quit. You can't win if you quit. So you might hit one day, bro. And then right here, we talked about Aston Martin already, so that is what it is. Final lap times right there is 0 seconds on the clock. You got Max Verstappen leading FP2 with the Ferrari boys right behind him, and then Perez in 4th, and Alonso in that emerald green car, which we just saw in 5th. So with that being the case, I do really like that. I like Aston Martin side pod design. It's just very intriguing to me. I really do like it. I think they did a good job with taking the best bits of other cars and incorporating them into theirs, and it has shown. But right now, it seems like as Ferrari kind of starts really picking up outside of Crash Leclerc's incidents, Aston Martin might start getting pushed out that back door, especially if Mercedes can get their act together. So we'll see what happens with that. So nothing's guaranteed, but we'll see what happens. But as of right now, with that being the case, FP2 is over. I told you all I was going to make sure I try to be here live with you all. I got up at 2 a.m. this morning. I was working on the baby's cart, getting her throttle system together because she had a little bit of play in it, which means she has more gas to give, which means she can get some more speed out of there. So had I let her go out like that, then what have happened is she would have not had full acceleration. And if other carts are on their game, then she's going to be butt out. Now I got to do the best I can do to try to give her machinery that will eliminate as much concern out of that, where she could just be the driver she can and just go for it. I think right now they're doing practice starts or something like that. Big shout outs to y'all joining for the free practice session. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it back for quali. The track is like an hour and a half away, depending on traffic. And if we can get the day started with no rain, if we actually start at 8:30 with registration, and then 9:30 with free practice, and then 10:30 with qualifying, and then we go into a driver's lunch and meeting from there, and actually start the racing at noon, just maybe we can finish up by 1400, and I can get back here by 1300 and something. No. We can finish up by 1400, and I can get back here by 1500, maybe, and get something done. But if not, then I won't make quali, but we will be here for finale lap. So keep that in mind. We'll be here for that. So you all listen, Lewis Hamilton get ready to do his practice start. So let's see how he gets off on that. Hopefully he gets off pretty well. He's pretty good at that. Max is pretty good at it. Charles is definitely good at it. But that was a pretty decent start. That was a pretty decent start. Charles definitely not showing that he's good at taking corners. But we're gonna see what happens tomorrow at FP2. So whole FP3. So hopefully these cars get better at FP3 qualifying, and then maybe still the race might lend some type of challenges that the temperature could change. Miami could. Does Lewis Hamilton have a sensor on that car? It looked like for a minute he might have had a sensor on that car. I got to go back and check to see if I can find an image. It looked like he might have had a sensor. No, Adamantani haven't watched many races, but is Sky purposely avoiding comment on Lewis? I'm telling you, it seems like it, don't it? It really does seem like it. Sometimes it really does seem like people are right when they say these platforms have an agenda as to try to weed out and try to make somebody what they are not. But there you go. FP1, Max Verstappen first, Sainz second, and third is Shaw, but Grex out, not finishing the session, bringing about a red flag to match his red car. Other than that, we are out. Peace and love. I'm going to try to get some things done and then try to get some rest because I got to get up early in the morning to get things loaded and then hit the road, Jack. I will see y'all Sunday, but don't be surprised. You know how I do. If I see you Saturday after quali or maybe in the midst of quali. All right, peace and love. Thanks for everybody winning. Freak Dogs Flair is going to spin for his $25 or $50 gift card Sunday. And then also we are announcing and presenting a new VIP member. A new VIP member. VIP members are popping up everywhere this season. I absolutely love it. I absolutely appreciate you all. And I will see you soon.